So my name is Chanel, I'm an information systems specialist, and I also create content as regards navigating adulthood, parenting, motherhood, basically everything about work-life balance. And today I'll be taking you through the journey of study abroad. I am from Nigeria. I also have here Dr. Hilda, and she will let us know who she is.
Well, thanks, Chanel. My name is Dr. Hilda. I am an internal medicine physician. I am from Kenya. And I came using the practice eligibility route, and today I want to tell you more about it.
Yeah, nice to have you here.
Thank you.
So I think I would start saying a little bit about study abroad. I mean, when people hear about study abroad, it's not just like a pathway to immigrate. People have different desires, different pursuits, but it's just where it starts. You could study abroad and still decide to go back to your home country. You can also study and then eventually decide to stay back. But in this case, we are in Canada, and we are not immigration officers, neither do we work with IRCC. So everything we're sharing here today is based on our own experience. I mean, you could do your own research. Everything is online, but we'll finalize and simplify everything for you to have a clearer vision. My first in the list would be like a mindset shift. First of all, are you ready for the culture shock? Are you ready to feel all lonely in a strange place? I mean, that's basically how it feels when you come here new, right? It happens to everybody. It happened to me. I don't know if it did it happen to you? Of course. So it happens to everybody. Yeah. And the second one will be to start applying for schools. What kind of studies are you looking for? What kind of education are you looking for? Are you trying to go to a college, a university, know exactly what you're going to study? And then you start making your research. What schools are you looking at? What provinces are you looking at going? You might have your reasons to be in Ontario, so it all depends. You do your research, find schools that have the same value with what you're hoping to achieve, and then you go for it, and then you start applying. I mean, but let's hear from Dr. Hilda, because there's been lots of questions about doctors wanting to come to Canada through the PER, right?
Yeah, the PER. So let me first start by saying, Chanel, that when I started my journey, there was absolutely almost nothing on the internet about this. So I had to go through their website, and then I talked to one of my friends, hi Majid, who is the one who helped me through the whole process. But there was nothing much. Like, I looked through to find out what people are saying about the pathway, how long it takes. I got nothing. So that's why I'm putting this information out there, because I get a lot of people asking me, and they're specialists in their own countries, and they want to know more. So my pathway was the practice eligibility route. So what that means is the Canadian system wants to see whether your practice and their practice are at par. And the only way they can do that is by, first of all, going through all your documents and then see whether whatever you learned in school is the same as what they teach their people in school. And then after that, then they look at your practice, and they basically observe your practice for 2 years, and then once they say, okay, this person is fit for service, and you've done an exam and passed, then you are a full member of the college. So the practice eligibility route is a route that anybody who has not studied in Canada or the US can use. And there are basically some approved jurisdictions. So there are countries which their pathways are not as rigorous. So those ones are called the approved jurisdictions, and then the rest. Kenya belongs to the rest. So if you are from Singapore, Hong Kong, South Africa is the only African country on the approved jurisdiction list. Where else? I think Ireland, the UK, and Australia. Those ones are the approved jurisdiction, which means that they kind of think that these people have almost the same kind of education that their Canadian counterparts have. So their journey is shorter.
Wow.
Yes. Now, for the rest, where I fell, it's a different pathway. So it is a pathway that has 5 major steps. So the first step is for them to look at your eligibility. So the first step any doctor goes through is to go and open a physician's apply account.
Okay.
So this physician's apply account is the one that will have all your documents that are verified by Canada. And through physician's apply, you can then apply for all the different pathways that are there. And doctors will know there's different specialists. There's family medicine, there's the other specialists. But then in Kenya, and I believe other countries as well, there's something called medical officer, which is somebody who has not done their specialty yet, but they're a doctor. Here in Canada, they don't really have that. Most people finish medical school and then go into a specialty. A lot of them go into family medicine.
Okay.
But for us, we have medical officers who are not necessarily family medicine physicians.
Okay.
So that's totally different from what they do here. And we will discuss that, I think, another time.
Okay.
So today we are talking about people who have done a specialty that includes internal medicine, surgery, gynecology, pediatrics, and are exploring to get out of their country. So this is not for family medicine and it's not for medical officers. So just note. So now you open the physician's apply account, and then the next step is you put in all your documents. And let me tell you, Chanel, they take you through all, like, your medical school,
Oh my
your
goodness.
internship. Then you have to have a certificate of completion of your internship. Then you have to have all the rotations that you went through in internship. Then you have to have your specialty degree. Then you have to have a letter from your university saying that this is what we learned, like your whole curriculum. Then you also put your transcripts to see how you scored.
Yeah.
And then you also get a letter from the program director of the, like, it's crazy. It's a lot.
Oh my goodness. So how long did it take you to get all these documents ready?
Now that's the thing. It took me a couple of months because I had to get my transcripts. It depends on where you're from, because I've heard of people whose universities lost their transcripts and they had to literally start, so if you're in an organized system, it doesn't take long. But I do understand that in Africa, there are different systems.
I know.
There are some that are not as organized. So it might take a couple of weeks to a couple of months to get all the documents ready. Once you have them all ready, then upload them onto the physician's apply. You wait for a couple of months for them to approve and verify all the documents.
Yeah.
Then once those have been verified, then the next step is now to apply to the Royal College, because now that's the next step. The Royal College, we have the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Canada. That's the one that is able to then now do your eligibility once all your documents have been verified. So now when you get to the Royal College and get an ID, the next step is to send them your documents, and they will now tell you whether you're eligible to come or not. So it's submitting the documents is not enough. You might verify everything, and then the college will still come and tell you you're not eligible. And you have to have submitted all your documents, but the other important thing is the duration of time that you spent in school. So they want, like in internal medicine, they want you to have been in school for 4 years.
Okay.
For your masters. Now that's tricky because some schools are 3.5 years.
And it's not allowed?
So that's the thing, I don't know because there's no information. So I cannot really, when people ask me, I'm not sure whether to tell them yes or no. So what I usually tell them is just try.
Yeah.
But then that means you will lose some money if you're not eligible. Because remember when I told you you're gonna put up all those documents, each document is $140. So all the time you are putting in documents, you might lose your money because they can come back and tell you, sorry, not eligible.
That's not fun.
I know. So it's not a cheap thing, and once you've committed, you have to know you're either gonna lose some money or you're gonna go through. So once they now determine that you're eligible, they send you an eligibility letter to say, hey, you are eligible for the practice eligibility route. But by that time, you've already paid your money.
I know.
Yes, you've paid almost $5,000 at this point.
Yeah.
And then now after that, once you get an eligibility letter, there are other things that need to be done. You have 5 years to pass the Royal College exam. So that that exam is it's an interesting exam, Chanel. You know the way exams are.
Yeah.
But it's one of those exams where I think it's best done if you're here, because the practice here is a bit different from the practice in other countries. So if you do the exam based on the information you have from home, you might not pass as well.
Yeah, I get it.
But some people still are able to pass, like it doesn't mean, but from my experience, I think it's much better to have come and worked here for a while before doing the exam. And you have 5 years.
Yeah.
And the good news is that places like Nova Scotia can take you with only your eligibility letter. So you don't have to have passed the exam to come to Canada. Once you get the eligibility letter, there are some provinces which say, hey, come and work.
That's good.
Even without the exam, exactly. And that's how I came.
That's good.
So I didn't have to do the exam initially, but I told myself, let me come and work a little bit. Yeah. So that is the next step, doing the exam. But you have, by the time you are to get your certification, you need to have worked in Canada for at least 2 years.
Oh.
Yeah. So for me, what I did is I worked and I did the exam hand in hand. So that's step 3 and 4.
Find a job.
It was. Chanel, between starting this whole thing, I would say the whole process for me took 2 years. 1 year to make up my mind, because I was like, do I really want to go? Am I ready to like let everything? It was a big decision. By the time you make this decision, you have to be very ready. It took me 1 year to be ready. And then once I started the process, within 8 months, I had a job offer. From the very beginning to getting the job offer. So it went by so quickly, I didn't see it coming because I didn't have the information, so I didn't know how long it takes. I thought it takes like 2 years or something, but no, it took much shorter. So I came, I applied in Nova Scotia, and I like the way you said, like, you need to do your research.
Yeah.
Because many people ask me, oh, what about BC? What about Saskatchewan? To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't know. So I also had to do my research and just went through like province to province to figure out which place would be best for me. And Nova Scotia turned out to be easy because first of all, they would take me with just the letter. I didn't have to have done the exam before I came.
True.
So that to me was something that was important. And then also the nature of the people. When I looked online, I realized Nova Scotians are very kind and
very polite.
They are really nice.
Yeah.
I like being here.
I mean, that doesn't mean instant friendship. But
No. Don't mistake. Africans the way we are. We think. No, it's not friendship. But they're very nice and kind.
Very,
So, and I found that to be true. So when I chose, I didn't want to go somewhere where I would have a higher chance of experiencing racism and But here it's been very comfortable for me. So I started working, and then I decided to do. So I came to Nova Scotia end of August. I started this whole process in August of the previous year. But then I had to finish what I was doing at work and all that. Then 28th of July, I flew here and then started working in August. But then I applied for the exam and I did it in 2025, this year. So I passed my exam, which is great. Yay!
Congratulations.
Thank you. But again, I think my advice would still be do the exam here. It's much easier when you know the system and how it works to pass that exam. And then after that, you have to work in one place continuously for 2 years under what they call observed practice, which just means your peers are keeping an eye on you. But it's basically just private practice. It's not bad. It's not like people are just on your case. You're working together as a team. And so my 2 years will be up next year, August. And then after that, then you have the Certified Royal College. You're now a fellow of the Royal College of Physicians of Canada. So those are the 5 steps. So the first step was just checking, putting your documents up and all. And then the second step is application through the Royal College. Then the third step is now the exam, which you can do before or after. But remember, the exam has to be done physically here. So even if you decide to do it like when you're still working in Kenya or Nigeria or wherever, you have to come here physically for the exam. And then the work in practice, time in practice for 2 years, and then after that you get your certification. That's it.
That's good.
So that's the practice eligibility route that you will not find on the internet.
You have it firsthand here.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so that was
insightful.
Yeah, and I mean, I get so many questions. Like surgeons, especially, ask me like, what about gynecologists? What about pediatricians? And you know what my answer is? I don't know. Because I truly don't know.
Yeah.
I only know my perspective as internal medicine, and I know that this is what I've done to be here. So, and remember, it also depends what the job scene is. Like, do they need you?
That's
another thing. Because family medicine, huge need. They have their own pathway. It's called PRA. We'll probably discuss it another time.
Okay.
And then now internal medicine has PER, but surgeons and gynecologists and all this can also come through this. But it depends on whether there are jobs available. Now, yeah, so I'll talk too much, Chanel. You tell me. What's your...
Oh my goodness, I think I enjoyed listening to all of that.
Yeah.
It sounded so fancy, but I'll tell you that requires a lot of work.
Oh my God. Patience.
Yeah.
And then it also requires God. I told, when I started the process, Chanel, I told God, if this is you, God, just make it smooth.
Yeah.
I believe, for me, all the things that I know are God-given have come smoothly in my life. And I told God, please. And I told you 8 months, and I had a job offer. 8 months. I don't know whether that's the story that other people have, you see. So in my opinion, I think I also had a lot of favor from God, because the whole experience was just very smooth and easy.
So basically, faith worked.
Faith worked, 100%, 100%. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, how do you get a job, right? Like once you've done the eligibility, you need to start applying to the different colleges. So one thing I didn't mention, and which is not really part of the route, is there is an exam called MCCQE1. It's like a qualifier exam for everyone who's finished medical school here. So anybody who's done medical school does MCCQE1 to make sure that they have all the knowledge they need before they proceed and do their masters. In the PER route, you do not have to do it for Nova Scotia. Again, now it becomes province dependent. One thing people need to remember: the health authorities in different provinces, they demand different things. So there are provinces which will need you to have an MCCQE1 and also have the PER. There are some like Nova Scotia where it doesn't matter. You can come in even without having done the MCCQE1.
Oh, wow.
But I chose to do it because I just am that kind of person, I guess.
You never know.
Yeah, I was just like, you never know, yeah. So I did it when I was in Kenya. It was easier studying for that particular exam in Kenya. It includes things that we did in medical school, and that's a long time ago for me. Pediatrics, surgery, like it's just a general exam. I did it, it's like USMLE, basically. It's the USMLE of Canada. Yeah, so MCCQE1 may or may not, depending on which province you want to go to, but I would recommend generally that you do it. The PER route is different based, like in different provinces. Some provinces want you to come as a Royal College certified, but some provinces take you as an eligible. So mine was eligible, that's why I came to Nova Scotia.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's it. That's the story, Chanel.
I'm sure you've all taken 1 or 2 notes from here, because you won't find this online. This is high information for free.
For free.
So just like what she was mentioning about your transcripts, your documents and everything, that's basically the same thing when you're applying for schools. But these things take a little while. You do like your WES evaluation, make sure you send in all your documents. If you need to do like an English test, if everything goes well, you offer the admission. The next thing will be for you to apply for the visa. And this is where the big chunk of job comes in, because any mistake you make in any of these documents might just impact negatively on your approval or your visa, it's really important to know that you can actually come in with your family members on this study visa, but then you need to have a very strong statement of purpose, because you need to state why your family members are coming with you.
Yes.
And in most cases, you're doing like a full-time coursework.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to your family
How are you
members?
going to take care of
Assuming
them?
you have little ones, you have your aged parents, who will take care of them while you're not there? So these are things you need to consider before you think of even moving with them. But better still, you can leave them behind and then come figure out things by yourself before you even think of bringing your family members. But it's a good thing that you're able to come with your family members if you are able to prove why you're bringing them and how you will cater for them.
Does that mean that your statement from your country should have enough money to take care of you for all those years?
You should have like a good proof of funds showing that without you working in Canada while studying,
you're
able
still
to
pay.
take care of yourself.
So if
you try to do as much as you can to just increase your chances of getting approved. I mean, and another thing people don't mention is the health insurance. I mean, if you're coming here with family and then you don't have some sort of health insurance, my dear, you're joking with yourself and the lives of your family members. Because most times schools only insure just you, the student, and not your family member.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, so
they need a private insurance.
Yes, like a third-party insurance companies, because you will eventually need it. Because who really wants an emergency? Nobody. But you never know.
And especially in a foreign country where you know nobody.
I mean, you could get treated for any illness or anything, but the bill is going to be outrageous. That's why you need insurance. So those are things that no one really tells you about, but it's out there and it's happening. I'm not telling you based on the sugar-coated version of what you see online. This is experience right here. So after, if for some reason your visa gets approved and successful, everything goes all well, the next thing will be for you to start planning ahead. So there are basic things, necessities. How much can you really have? But whatever happens, make sure you have your winter gear.
Oh my God, guys!
It's not a joke.
You do not know colds until you come to Canada. Oh my God! It redefines cold.
It can't be overemphasized. So you could shop back home and then come with a little stuff. Then when you come here, you can buy as much as you want. So basically, try to pack smart and then book your flights way ahead of time. You really don't want that.
Save money and also the uncertainty, right?
Exactly. You're coming for the orientation. That's where you have learn about all the resources you have on campus. So now that you're in school, you're already here in Canada. What next? Participation is key. So that's basically about the academics part of it, and then you just go through school and then try to work 20 hours a week, maybe during vacation, holidays, any form of break. Then you could work like 24 hours a week. Now you're done with school. What next? It's for some people it's completely different. But if you're trying to get like a global experience of what it feels like working like a full-time in an actual office in Canada, then you will have to apply for the postgraduate work permit. It's at this point you will decide if you really want to stay here or you're just going to go back to your home country.
So what is your advice to this young person, or maybe not so young person, who's just about to start the process? What's like your 5 most important thing that you can tell them?
My first step would be to have finances, money, and then make up your mind on exactly what you want to study. Consider the province you might want to go to. And the 4th one will be try to live in the moment. For me, I try to enjoy every situation, every moment. Like I try to romanticize every aspect of my everyday life. Try to network, try to meet people, try to come out and talk to people. That's how to get going. That's how to get jobs, because you can get referrals. So that sums up everything we have to say about studying abroad and then her PER route as a doctor. And now Dr. Hilda will give us like her last 3 points for doctors.
Yes, so if you're a doctor and you want to come abroad, I would say the first thing is find out your why. So you need to know, why are you moving? As doctors or as healthcare professionals or practitioners, we usually get attached to our patients, attached to our fields of work, and there's a sense of purpose that you have when you're working wherever you're working. And there are people who are not for going abroad. They are fine where they are. And so this video is not for them.
Exactly.
This is for the people who have reached that point. That's why I'm telling you it took 1 year for me to even make the decision. So find out your why. If it's going to take you long, take as much time as you need. Don't come before you fully understand why you're moving. Then you can only find what it is you're looking for. Then the second thing that I wanted to let any practitioner know is do not undermine any experience that you've had. There are many things that I experienced when I was in Kenya that have come in very handy when I'm here. Even though the systems are different, the patients at the end are the same. Patients want to be heard. Patients want to be taken care of. They want an empathetic person who's going to understand their problems. So at the end of the day, I realized patients are the same. It's just where the difference is the location and the resources that are available to me. But practice of medicine is the same. So don't look down on your education system. Don't look down on the experiences that you've had. Whatever you know, that's all you need. Truly. Then the third thing is, if possible, once you start the process, get the momentum going. Don't wait too long, because what I've realized, and I don't know what you've seen, but things change so quickly.
Yeah.
So 1 minute they could be saying, oh, we are accepting people.
Policies.
Policies change. So they might say, oh, we are taking people who only have the eligibility, but not necessarily the certification. Then in a couple of years, it might change, because all of a sudden everybody has applied and they have more people in the system. Then they start cutting off and say, okay, we only take people who have done MCCQE or who have had practice in Canada. So grab the opportunity while it still is there, because policies change all the time and you never know. While it favors you, strike the iron while it's hot. So that's what I would say.
I think that sums everything we've talked about here. Like we said, we're not immigration agents, neither do we work for IRCC. These are all experiences based on what we've seen, what we've done, and this is us living our lives here in Nova Scotia. So if you want to know more about Nova Scotia or how life is generally, besides being a doctor, besides being an information system specialist, I mean, we still live and enjoy it as much as we could. I mean, it's a small town, but we still try to find ways around it. Alright, thank you guys so much for listening. So you can follow us on Instagram. So mine is Chanel, CHNEL __, and on YouTube, Chanel Rush, CHNELRUS, and then
I am Dr Hilda _CA on Instagram. On my YouTube channel, I still have my old name, which was Diabetes Doc KE.
That's
because I'm a diabetes doctor. Yeah.
So thank you guys so much. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Don't forget to share this video because it might help someone out there. See you.